Today I'm going to show you how I made this really simple sketchbook one signature journal, and I really do hope you will join me to see how easy it is to put together. Hi everyone, welcome to Hilltop View Journals. Today I'm excited to introduce you to my new junk journal sketchbook, created especially for this Junk Journal with Me YouTube series. I've designed this journal to be as simple and as accessible as possible, a one signature journal that everyone can make and customise. This journal is going to be my creative space for writing, sketching, painting and collaging as we journey through this Journal with Me series together. I'm going to be recording my thoughts, doodles, watercolour sketches and experimental collage all inside this handmade journal. I want this series to encourage you to use your journals as both expressive art tools and spaces for memory keeping. So if you want to create your own sketchbook journal, please join me today as we put this one simple, one signature junk journal together. I thought I'd just switch on my camera as I make myself a little sketch journal today. I'm not feeling particularly creative, but I feel like I want to do something. So I'm in the mood to make another journal. I wish I could stop making journals because I've got so many, but that's the mood I was in. So got some brown paper and I've got some book pages and I've got these lovely coffee stain papers from my roomie and friend Phyllis, who is on Rachel Bella Crafts admin team and design team. I've got watercolour paper, cheap watercolour paper. This is called, let me get, toned tan sketch paper. Okay, I treated myself. I think it's expensive for what it is, but we deserve to treat ourselves, don't we? Got book page from music paper, and I've got then some tea dyed paper and some normal lined paper. So I'm going to make myself a sketch journal that I want to write in, draw in, paint in. I'm not too worried about bleed through and things like that. I'll probably stick a lot of things in there as well. So on the pages that won't take the paper, won't take the mediums, I'll just either sketch on them or I will cover them and put things on top. So I'm just going to put this journal together. The size I want is going to be my usual traveller's notebook size, so that I can just use it for my everyday journaling. Oh, these pages are so gorgeous. I almost don't want to use them, but then I think, well, if I don't use them, then I'm not making anything of them. I did also wonder about making it a big size journal, but I'm not that keen on writing in big size journals. I wish I was, but I'm not. So let us I'll tell you what I'll do. First of all, I will fold this in half, which will give me around about the right size width-wise. And it is about, well, it's about 10.5. I sometimes go up to 11 centimetres. So it's about just 4 and... well, just over 4 inches, and then the size lengthwise is about 21, so that's about as high as I want it. So we'll cut that down. There we go. So that's kind of my template. So they can be slightly bigger and smaller, whichever way it goes. So I'm going to start with, let's put one of these in here. So this is just plain packaging paper. And I'm just going to rip. I'm not going to be too bothered about cutting and measuring and all sorts. I'm just going to make the pages as they come. So I know it's nice to have some smaller pages. And let's just make that like that. Oops. So I really just want a variety of pages in here. I like that the lines are going the wrong way. This is quite heavy tea stain paper. So let's make this go around there. And what I'm hoping to do as well then is use the scraps to doodle on. So I will keep these with the journal. Okay, I'm going in. Forgive me for this, but these have got to be used. And I think what I'll do is I'll fold the page. And cut that bit. And let's go in some of this. So it's quite tall. So I am going mainly from the outside and folding. So if I was to put it, if I was to put the paper on the inside, then the pages will get smaller and smaller and smaller. So this is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Kind of. I'm sure you know what I mean. So I am making it slightly bigger every time I cut it down. It's not quite straight, but never mind. Let's put another page in there. I shall tear those up. And right, let's go in with some watercolour. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some watercolour in the middle here for a minute. I'm not quite sure how this will tear. We'll soon find out. It's not too bad. And there. And then let's get another watercolour sheet. Let's just measure this now. Yep, so it's already grown to 11.5. So you need to keep an eye on it when you're making your journals, if you make them like this. I like doing it haphazardly. So it's going to be a single signature. So I want a few pages in there, but I don't want too many pages. Because there's nothing like finishing a journal. Nothing as satisfying as that, I don't think. And when they're too thick, I think it just becomes a bit of a bind. I think this would make a nice cover to use for a cover. One of my tea-dyed papers that I was using stencils on. I think I just want one more piece of watercolour paper. And I think I'll put that in the middle. This piece of paper, I think I'll leave that. And this is a nice thick page. There we have. It's quite a large one now. Okay, so I'm just going to tidy up my scraps. It's got this lovely pile of scraps, so I'm going to keep that with the journal that I make so that I can then use the scraps for tags and things and draw on them. So they are just going to go there like that, and then I've got this roll of, now I would call it anaglypta lining, so it's wallpaper lining which you would purchase in any type of decorating store. It's really, really thick. I have no idea how paint and things will take to it, but that's what I'm going to use for my cover, and then I'll probably add things to the cover. So I'm just going to just cut a piece off this now just to make it a little bit more manageable. It's very curly, of course, which is unavoidable really. I'm definitely going to have a go putting some watercolour and things on this, because I think it will create a lovely dreamy effect. So you can see it's already got some paint and things on there. It's picked up something. So let's get my journal. Yep, it's all falling here now. And just measure the cover out. So I want the cover to have a pocket for sure. So let's wrap this around, and I want the cover to be slightly bigger than the actual journal. Now things aren't straight at the moment, so I'm gonna have to straighten them up. So I want it probably about that big. I'm not going to measure. Going to see what it looks like. And then I'm going to rip. I think that looks about right. Yep. So I know I need to straighten that up. It doesn't look too bad. I'll just straighten this. That's great. Maybe a little bit too much of an overhang. Gives me plenty of room. I think what I could do is I could score it. So it gives me a bit of a spine. We'll see how that goes. Right, so let's fold this up now to give myself a pocket. That's a nice roomy pocket. And you can see that's tapering in there. I actually want it like that because it then won't be in the way. So I'm going to taper this one in as well. Could be a little bit more. I think I'll leave it like that for a minute. And maybe now, so that's the middle. So let's do a little bit of scoring. I need a little scorer tool. So I also didn't want the crease in the spine. So that's how it's looking. And all I need to do now is glue these into place. But I think what I'll do is I'll stitch around this first, just all around. And do a little bit of inking. Ground espresso. Just going to go and stitch this now. So that's some messy stitching. I haven't quite got the lines in the right place there, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. There'll be loads of things sticking out and tabs and all manner of things anyway, so it's just going to be all over the place. So okay, so I just need to glue these down. Then all I need to do is bind it. So I'm going to measure 3 times the size of the journal-ish. Get a fairly sharp needle, I think. And I'm going to use one of my templates. So the measurements are 7 centimeters or 2 3/4 inches between each hole. So I'm going to pop that in the middle, make it look fairly central, and then pop my holes in there. Like that. So those are the holes, and then I'm going to do my holes in signature. And to make sure that the pages are in place. Just make sure it's not upside down. That all looks okay. Great. Let's pop this in. quite a lot of pages here, so need a bit of welly. And I'm going to take that loose and then grab the middle there. Now I am thinking, do I need to cover that spine, which I should have thought about before stitching it really. I think I may actually, so I'm going to leave that like that, have a think. What do I want on there? I think just some cheap cotton, I think, and I'll stitch it again. So I don't need too much of this. But what I might do is actually double it up. I've just about got enough there actually. Okay, so I've got a couple of choices on how I do this. The easiest thing would be to stitch it straight on, but of course when you stitch it straight on then you'll be coming through here. So it will cut into your pocket. Not that that really matters. I think that'll probably be the best idea, I think. So let's do another strip. I kind of need it, but I'll take that off. If this becomes, well, if I manage to get this straight, it will be an absolute miracle. You just know it's not going to be straight, don't you? You just know it. You absolutely know it. It'd be easy if I glued it, actually. Okay, let's see how this goes. I'm not holding out much hope, I gotta be honest, but let's do it. I got a bit of puckering, but it's all right. Kind of looks like that. Yeah, that'll be fine. So what I need to do now is redo the holes. Make sure they're in the middle. Go. And then we can resume the binding. So I'm going to go in through the middle. Make sure this is the right way up. Yes, it is. And this is always the most difficult hole, the second hole you go in. So I always take my time. Quite a few pages to go through, so I'm just going to slowly weave my way in. Oh, it doesn't want to come through. There we go. Okay. Let's just see if I've gone through the thread. Sometimes that does happen where you pierce the middle of the thread, which I think I have done. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen it and then pull it through there. And you can see I've just gone through the thread. So all I'm going to do is pull it apart like that. Job done. And pull it tight, just make it equal. It's about equal there. Put one on either side. And then tie. There we go. Oh, it's quite central. I'm very surprised with myself, I have to say. Very surprised. Let's see if these are glued. Yep, they're not too bad. I might add a bit of extra sticky or something. Or what I'll probably do actually is do some sort of cluster or something there. So we have lost some of the pocket, but there's still enough to put scraps and things in. So there we go. So there's a little journal for me to play in. Didn't take too long at all. And that was a lot of fun. Before I forget and move on to decorating the journal signature cover, I'm going to do the closure. And it's going to be a very simple closure. Just some eyelets and some twine. Oh, I found a needle. That needs to go there. And all I'm going to do is measure where the middle is. So this is sort of 21.5 centimetres long. It's almost 8.5 inches wide. So I reckon 10 3/4 or around about the 11 inches mark will be okay. So let's do 4 1/16 because that looks pretty central to me. So I want to come in a little bit there. And let's do the same here. come in a bit. But before I punch it in, let me just make sure I'm not affecting anything there. No, I'm not. That's not actually quite the same, is it? So let's do that again. That's 4 1/16. So let's measure it like that. Yes, that's why. That needs to be there. I didn't measure from the top. I'll get a decent eraser. Okay, so I've erased that out. And I can see now there and there's about the same. Great. So I'm going to use my crocodile. I've only got a big crocodile. And I love this thing. It's well worth the money. So I want to use this type of closure. I'm going to have lots of bits and pieces sticking out the sides, I should imagine. So this type of closure will be fine. And as long as I've got the closure on there before I start doing the pieces, then I maybe can avoid this middle section. So I'm just going to measure out a decent amount and double it. And then do it again. And again. So I'll have 4 little pieces of twine. It's about right. Let's cut it in the middle there. There we go. And then we can tie them in place. So I'm just going to double up the twine, and with the loop side I'm just going to pop it through like you're threading a needle, and that'll go like that. And then the other side, double up the twine, make sure it's kind of equalish. Thread that through. There we go. So that's a really simple closure. Like that. Lovely. I thought it'd be useful at this point to share some of the journals that I do work in from time to time. This one is my grid journal that I'm using, so I just focus on doing watercolour grid journals, so grid pages. I'd also do acrylics as well, and I've got line drawings and things like that. So it's been a while since I picked this up, a couple of months. So I'm hoping to get back into this. So that's that one. I've also got this one that I started and then put away again. It's just a normal journal, and the maker's Yop and Tom. So it's been a long time since I've used a journal like this. And I did start doing a bit of journaling in there and a bit of doodling. Done a little bit more watercolour. And then I stopped there. So again, that is something else I'd like to pick up at some point. It's really, you just pick it up as and when you feel like it. I bought this Dina Wakley ledger journal. I've been trying to get hold of one for months. This is completely new and I haven't touched it because I'm too frightened to, because I love it so much. But when I get a bit more confident, then I'm going to start doing some mixed media in here. It's got beautiful pages, absolutely gorgeous, and it's really thick as well. So I think I'm going to be able to create some fun art in this when I get the confidence to do it. And then I've got this one, and I made this during the 100-day project. It had a different cover on it, I think. Or it might not have had a different cover, but I've certainly covered up what was on the front. And I tore it apart because it wasn't working for me. So I need to redo this one. I need to add some more pages to it. I need to rebind it and consider how I'm going to use this. So this is very much like my sketch journal that we've made today, but obviously on a bigger scale. And I may keep this for some challenges. Who knows? Let's see what comes of the next couple of months. But yeah, I love the pages that are in here as well. So I'm hoping to use this up very soon. So that is the end of today's video. As you can see, this journal now has a front cover on it, and I will go through how I made the front cover in another video. Otherwise, this video will be so long nobody will want to watch it, and I think it's better just to split up the process. So I hope you enjoyed watching how I made this really simple journal. I've actually started working in it as well. It was an off-the-cuff last minute thing that I hadn't planned out at all, and I'm really pleased with the way it did actually turn out, and I'm really enjoying using it already. So please do join me for my next video, where I will be showing you how to make these really simple watercolour doodles and create a very nice front cover for your sketchbook journal. And I hope you will give this a go as well, because it really is an easy junk journal to make. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed today's video, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye bye for now.